On the morning of October 17, 2009, Army vet Charles Zan was found brutally stabbed to death in his own bed. Police launched a homicide investigation, believing they were dealing with a home invasion that had left Charles dead and his wife Pandora traumatized. Investigators questioned Pandora at the scene, getting key information about how the attack unfolded.
Let me just get some basic information from you, Pandora, right? All right. That's not a common name. Pandora? Mm-hmm. What's your middle initial, Pandora? J. And last name is Zan? All right. What's you guys' address up there? What's the Miamisburg address? Or it's got to be Miamisburg.
West Carrollton Post
Dayton
Office. West Carrollton Post Office. Miamisburg schools and all of that.
All those carry West Carrollton address.
What's your home? You have a home phone? Just a cell? All right. Yeah, I have to ask the area code because some people have phones from Arizona and everything else. You know how you move the numbers around. All right. And what's his name?
Charles. That's in the middle initial. I think he's a second.
All right.
I guess they check.
And he was working at Lebanon Correctional?
Correctional.
Warren Correctional.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that?
No. It's right next to Lebanon. He's also in the Army Reserve.
All right. And was anybody else in the apartment with you guys last night? It was just you two?
And the puppy.
What's your dog's name?
Rocco.
Is he what kind of dog is he? A little...
A long-haired Jack Russell.
Jack Russell.
How long has he been at Warren Correctional?
15 years.
15. Wow.
15 years, huh?
Yeah.
Are you working anywhere?
I get Social Security disability.
When was the last time you worked?
Last year.
Last year? Where'd you work last year?
Olive Garden.
Right down the road there from you? Right across from the mall?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I told him to get some clothes for you, so I know you don't want to sit around your room all day. But you understand why we can't just take stuff out of there right now. And I know you told me in the car, but how long you guys been married? I forgot.
7 years. And 2. Been together 8. A couple.
And where's he from? He's from this area?
Ohio. He's from Cleveland. Outside of Cleveland. Lorraine.
And where have you generally been from? This area?
Franklin, and when I was married the first time, I lived in Middletown.
You said Moraine in Middletown?
Sorry?
Did you say Moraine in Middletown?
Franklin.
Oh, Franklin. Can't hear this one. And you said he has a boy?
He has 2 boys. One of them is a German national, lives in Germany. And then he has an 18-year-old senior in high school, lives with his half-brother.
What's his name?
Adrian.
Who's his half brother?
Brendan Brooks.
Brendan.
Brendan. Thank you. 22. 22 and 23.
Does he work?
He looks at Marcos. Brendan does.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Deliver or make them or what?
I think both. I think he might be like assistant manager or something.
Okay. Which market?
Alex up by BW3s.
Okay.
All right. And who's the one that lives in Germany?
Charles Zan. And Chuck was in the Army many years ago. He married a German national, and instead of her coming over here with a baby like she's supposed to, she put the baby up for adoption. So Chuck hadn't got to see him for 20 years, and they just in the last year found each other. And he's 22.
Do you have any contact information for him?
I think I do at home.
At home? Okay.
We haven't talked for a while. I actually have a
Oh, you do?
It's cute. The country code.
You have to dial all those numbers?
Yep.
And do you have any kids?
2.
What's their names?
The oldest is Misty.
I-S-T-Y?
Correct. Yeah.
What's her last name?
Henderson.
Spell out.
Henderson.
And does she have a home phone or a cell phone?
She doesn't have any phone.
Where's she live?
I leave the trailer park in
Do you know an address? And your son?
Cody, C-O-D-Y. Henderson.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Have you ever opened up a phone book lately? I haven't.
I have all the time.
Oh, have you?
Stuff here.
I had to call information and just punch it in myself.
Right.
Alright. And you want your, what'd you say, jeans and a sweatshirt off that back computer chair? Is that where you said they're at?
Was it bringing me something from there?
Huh?
Was it bringing me something from there?
Do you want them to bring it here, or do you want to get it later, or?
No, I mean, sorry, yes, there's jeans and sweatshirts, and then there's boots and between the couch and love seat.
Alright. Let me go check on one thing. I'll be right back. Got it responded yet? Shit. I'm getting ready to get started. I can only stall so long. I ask her about everything that's unaccepted this. I know all their family information. And we've got contacts for everybody. I need that going. She's not hardly sure.
My wife like food with the ends and knives. And there was dead next to me. Somebody must have been in my house dead. I'd be freaking out.
And then the police took you to the building. She's not even questioned that.
She's shaking.
No.
But I go
She's pretty calm. She's pretty calm.
So when he lost his son in Germany, he enlisted in the Marine Corps for 4 years. He spent out since 2. He just re-enlisted in the reserves 2 years ago. But he felt like it's something he needed to do. He's an instructor. He teaches mortars.
Teaching what?
How to use mortars.
Okay. That's what I thought you said.
He's out of Richmond, Indiana.
Okay. So you did 4 years in the Army, that's 4 in the Marines.
He was trying, The army wouldn't send him back to Germany because he was trying to get his son. So he thought if he enlisted in the Marine Corps, he could get an overseas assignment on it. But he just missed the military. That's why he really lost it. It's crazy. So you're 40-something years old. What are you doing? Struggling with the physical part of it, and then he's just. Even though he's in the Army Reserves, he will always be a Marine. Till the end.
Yeah, the Marines are pretty dedicated.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize how I said it.
It's all right. Just want to give you a chance to compose yourself there.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
They just don't understand what happened.
Well, that's what we're here to try to sort out and try to figure out. You all right? All right. Let's kind of start with yesterday. What happened before you guys went to bed, or what were you guys doing? Did you guys see anybody yesterday or talk to anybody that was out of normal?
No. The electric was off at our apartment, and we just kind of had out at home, and we got outside and talked to the neighbors.
Yeah. Why was the electric off?
Because there's some contractors over there doing some work, and they cut the cable, the DP&L line. Mind you, Monday they cut the cable and interrupt line by mistake. This is contractors. So we stayed at home. I made homemade soup really light, and they made me chili, and we just cuddled on the couch and played cards off and on all evening.
So you made some soup and he made chili?
No, I made both of them.
Oh, you made...
An apple cobbler. He's got the Pandora soup that he likes. Because he's part Hungarian. And I made it for him yesterday. Because it was so cold.
It was real chilly with no electric.
Oh, I got really chilly.
You don't have any other source of heat in there? That was really cold.
So we just kind of curled up on the couch and covered up. And I kept on watching the worried people with.
When did your electric go out?
Was it 12 something and come back on it? Right around 4. Because we were going to give it till 4 o'clock and then we were going to go to the mall or something, someplace warmer. And I think it was like 4:01 the electric kicked on.
So he didn't work yesterday, or what?
He took the day off.
They took the day off.
And take him off.
Why did he take off yesterday? Because of electric?
Said he wanted to spend the day with me. He was off the day before because the alternator got bad in the Jeep. He wasn't enjoying working very much anymore, so he caught up.
So you guys played some cards last night?
Played some games of rummy and we watched TV.
What you guys watch?
Monk was at 9. Numbers was at 10. And we watched Chelsea lately for a while. I can't remember what was at 8 o'clock. It was an hour. Oh, Law and Order. It was at 8. We watched some judge shows before that.
Right back.
Hello.
Every other hour, every other day?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. It's like a dyed brown. Yeah. Right. She don't have it. Which one? No, I didn't get that one. She don't have any. She don't have any shoes on. Oh. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Thanks, man. Hello. I'm sorry. What? Yeah. Go ahead.
He just came on straight preceding.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm just, if they called it, if it was supposed to be fun all the time,
Yeah.
holy smoke.
Been having electric problems here too. I don't know if they've been cutting our cable lines.
They wouldn't call it work, you know? Call it. I'm turning the phone
You-
down, so.
You said he wasn't enjoying work much anymore. He's been there how long? You say 15 years? Well, I'll ask you. I know I wouldn't enjoy that kind of work much anyway from the start, but he's done it 15 years. He apparently thought it was okay at some point. What's making him not like it now?
The last year, we had some problems. We kind of took up with somebody. So we've been off again and on again. And in February, he moved in with her. And I just had enough. So I found somebody to date. And that was all it took for him to realize that he was messing up. And he begged me to get back together and begged me to get back together. And he made a bad judgment call. He was doing transportation at the time. And on Tuesdays was his courier day. And that's where he just drove a van by himself instead of driving inmates up to Columbus to switch out the mail and everything. And we had just been met together a couple of days. And he came by and picked me up to go into Columbus. Big no-no. But he was still a little bit touchy about the fact that I had saw another guy. Now, mind you, he was living with another girl. Anyway, he started an argument with me on the way up there. And the extent of the argument was he kept on saying something about my cell phone, about how does he know that I'm not going to be making calls and calling this guy and blah, blah, blah. Or the guy's going to be calling me. And I kept on telling him, you need to just drop this. You need to stop. And he kept on. As we're driving, I'm bipolar. I'm not going to admit making the best judgment calls all the time, okay? I rolled the car window down and I tossed my cell phone out on the side of 71. Instead of him just keeping on going, I said, just forget about it, keep on going. No, he took me back, made me get out of the vehicle to look for the cell phone. Long come OSP. Long short, he got in trouble at work. He immediately went off on stress leave. When he came back, they removed him from his post. That's why he doesn't like his job anymore.
Okay.
So that's the long and the short of it.
When was this trip to Columbus that you were with him?
February, end of February, because we got back together in, no, middle of February, because we got back together right before Valentine's Day. It was the first week. We split up in January sometime. He told me he was staying in the hotel. I found out he was living with this woman that he'd been seeing off and on since August. Had a dummy cell phone, so I didn't know about it. Because you know me, I went psycho. I knew he was seeing somebody. I was online checking phone records.
What was her name? Do you know?
Regina, she's a corrections officer at Marysville.
Where are they hooked up?
CNC in Columbus. They both transported inmates from Massachusetts.
When did he?
She lives in Springfield,
Oh, okay.
but they became friends.
Right, but I was just kind of wondering how they got. I mean, she's all the way up here in Marysville. He's all the way down in Warren County.
He
living in
drives to
Miamisburg,
Springfield.
He drives to Springfield. So, yeah.
I mean, I've met her since they broke up because when he took his stress leave, he really had a meltdown. His family wasn't being there for him, and I don't know, against my better judgment, I called her and told her that he needed a friend and asked her if she'd start checking on him because nobody was checking on him, but he was just getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this depression that I'd never seen in him before. So I met her, and I mean, we've gone to dinner with her, and I tried it. But after I met her, she's an alcoholic. I never had anything to worry about. It's just him and his midlife crisis, I guess.
So you've met Regina, and you went out with her.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It took a lot of talking with my counselor before I could get to that point, but I was trying to do the right thing for him. And I knew at one time before they became involved, they were really good friends for 18 months before they ever became involved. And he really enjoyed talking to her, and, you know, just kind of felt like, I mean, they didn't talk about anything personal or anything like that. It was just, he was just really good friends with her, and I just felt like he needed a friend. And I was getting in contact with his army friends and his work friends, and nobody was calling and checking, and his family wasn't calling and checking, and I just couldn't do it by myself anymore. So I called her, and she came down and see me and started checking on him, and he slowly, with her help and my help, we slowly started getting him out of his funk. So
Wow.
it was bad.
That all happened when you started getting back in contact with her.
He went back to work in July. I want to say it was May, maybe end of April, May, because he went from, I mean, those first 2 weeks that he was off on leave, he was fine. I mean, he was the husband I remembered from years ago, and all bad times was gone, and we bought new wedding rings, and we made new, we recommitted ourselves to each other, and they put him on medicine, and it was like night and day. He's like the cleanliest person in the world. I mean, there's days he'll shower 2 or 3 times. He was going 2 or 3 days without showering. That's how bad he was. He would stay in the same clothes on the couch, wouldn't leave the apartment. I mean, it was bad. And I finally, his mom come around and his sister come around and his family. Well, actually, I think what happened was his dad was sick, and we had to go up to Lorraine, and his family got to see how bad he was. And that was like the turning point, because like from then on, all his family was like in touch with him all the time. Are you okay? Are you okay? But
Well, when exactly did he start, do you know, dating or seeing this Regina?
last August,
In 08?
yeah, my bipolar, when I have manic episodes, I run away. And I didn't run away this time. I just kind of was like at my dark point, and I was just fed up, and I moved in with my daughter. And I guess the day I moved out, he called her, and they went out. Or the next day, I called her at my house. He says, "Well, you left." And I said, "Is there papers that says we're divorced?" Because in my mind, I don't care if we're separated or not, we're still married. And I sat outside the house, and I called him, and I said, "You better get her out of my house now, or I'm going to become ugly."
Did you catch them together, or was she just there? Or?
I knew she was in there, and it was 7 o'clock in the morning. I knew she was in there. Her car was parked out front.
Oh, okay.
And so
That was in August of last year.
Is that apartment
we
you're in now, or is it?
no, we lived on Bluff Place in West Carrollton,
Okay.
kind of catty corner from where my stepson lives. And
Is that a house or an apartment?
so I knew he was like leaving all the time, even after I moved back in, because basically what I told him, he wasn't going to let me move back in. And he started threatening me, and he told me he was going to make my life miserable. And I said, well, here's the bottom line. My name is on the lease too. You can't tell me I can't come home. I said, try it. Call the police and try it. I haven't hit you. I'm not throwing things. I'm just telling you to get that woman out of my house. And I left, and a half an hour later, he calls me and he said she's gone. And come and talk. And he made me stay with my mom and dad for a while. Well, I had been staying at my mom and dad's. I went and stayed with my daughter, and that didn't work out. And I got in counseling. I tried to have myself committed in psychiatric unit to try to get my bipolar under control. They wouldn't keep me because I wasn't hearing voices in my head. So they placed me in an outpatient program. And that program changed my life. I met people that was the same as me. I did this outpatient group thing, and I have been medicine compliant for over a year. It's the longest I've ever stayed on medicine. And I still see my counselor, and I still go see my psychiatrist once every 3 months to get my medication. And
What kind of meds are you on?
For my bipolar and depression, I'm on Celexa, Buspar, and Trileptal. Buspar I've only been on for a couple of months, but he started becoming so unhappy with his job. It was just making me anxious. So when I got into my doctor, I told him I needed to get something for anxiety so that I could keep it together because I didn't want to lose it. And then I'm also have fibromyalgia and chronic pain, so I go to a pain doctor. So I'm on Lyrica, Xanaflex, Percocet. And I take Prilosec to keep my stomach calm.
Oh, that's not good for your stomach life.
No. And I have
Where
to keep on checking to make sure all the medicines are in a mix. And
where did you try to get yourself admitted to, Pandora?
Miami Valley, and they're the ones that placed me in the outpatient program. Chuck took me.
Where was that at?
It's called LifeWell. It's at,
Life Well?
yeah. There's the job center in Prescott Hospital, St. Elizabeth.
It used to be St.
St. Elizabeth, but it's in that
Okay.
hospital there on Edmondson, Moses. So I did it for 3 times a week for 3 weeks, 4-hour sessions. And by the time I finished that program, it was like, oh my God, it was like night and day. It was like I could finally sort things out, and things were dark, and it's been a good year for me as far as my mental stability, and I'm pretty
Good. You've been staying on your medication.
every now and then I'll miss one, but I take my medicines. And
I have a relative that's got a similar problem, and she's a whole lot better on meds than when she's not on meds. It's just a whole difference.
last year, I took a Greyhound to St. Louis, Missouri.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have done that before, huh?
I don't even know anybody in St. Louis. No, I mean, this was one of my manic episodes. I hopped
Oh.
the Greyhound and went to
Oh,
St.
you just
Louis.
got on one.
I
Look.
just got on one.
Okay.
No, I don't do that. I stayed and talked.
Who's your counselor?
Sharon,
Where's she out of?
Dorothy Lane. She also has a office in Vandalia.
All right, you go see somebody else every 3 months to get meds.
And I was just there Thursday. Chuck went with me.
You were last there this Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
15th.
Mm-hmm.
You restocked you on your meds?
Gave me my prescription. And then I guess you got your saw the pain doctor once a month to get my medicines. I have a pain clinic on
Miami Valley?
no.
Oh.
She's an actual pain doctor.
Yeah, they've got one there at Miami Valley.
Huh? No. I'm Alex Bell. She's like Kettering, Centerville way. Alex Bell past. She's right past Rex Tech Center. She's right out of office. Yeah. She's the one that does the Lyrica and Xanaflex and Percocet. And she's the physician's assistant.
Oh, I think I've talked to her before. About something else, not about you. I've talked to her before about something else. You're not seeing anybody else, right?
No.
That's it.
I get a Miami for family practice when I'm sick.
Oh, that's nice. Alright, so you guys were watching TV last night. To get back to that. Watching Monk, Numbers, Law and Order.
And then
Chelsea lately. She's pretty funny. You don't like
He
her?
likes her, I know.
I think she's pretty funny. I think probably more guys like her than girls. Than women. What time's she on?
I want to say she came on right after Numbers went off.
At 11, something around there. Or 10. Law and Order's 8, Monk's at 9, Numbers is at 10.
Because we turned the TV off right around, I don't know, a little bit after midnight. We had rolled around. Turned the TV off. I can't remember who was on Chelsea lately. It was the 3 Playboy bunnies that Hugh Hefner's estate now that they've got the Girl Next Door reality show on.
It's got 3 new girls in it.
19-year-old twins and all blonde bombshells.
Hugh Hefner's got it made, I tell you. How old is he now? He's got to be getting old.
I don't know. One of them shares his room. The other 2 got their room. They're all 3 his girlfriend. The one that shares his room is girlfriend number 1.
So you said you guys turned the TV off around midnight, and did you say you fooled around? Is that what you...
Before we turned the TV off.
Okay. So were you guys together before? Is that what you're talking about?
We had sex.
Okay.
We were intimate before we went to sleep.
And the only reason I ask is because everybody's got different definitions.
Okay.
You know, some people fooling around is just kissing and touching each other, and
No, we weren't.
other people it's intercourse. So
So you guys turned the TV off a little after midnight. You both go to bed then, or...
We was already in bed and I started tickling his back for him, helping him fall asleep. And he fell asleep first, and then I fell asleep a little bit later. And I'm thinking around 5-ish is when the dog woke me up to go outside. He went to the bathroom, came back and got in bed with him. He started to come in bed.
What did you say the dog's name is?
Rocco.
Rocco.
Every dog we've had has had to be an Italian name because he's Italian. We have Luigi, Isabella, Guido.
So you guys fell asleep around what time? Do you have any idea what time you guys were?
Probably around 12:30 by the time we finally fell asleep.
Alright, and then the dog woke you up kind of 5-ish to wanting to go outside. And did you take the dog outside?
Yeah, I did. I woke up, he didn't. And sometimes he'll wake up because sometimes my medicine makes me too groggy and I don't hear the dog, but the dog's
Okay.
got in my face and licked me this morning.
Yeah, they'll let you know. So you took the dog outside. See anybody outside at that time?
No.
All right.
And he didn't either, because usually if he sees somebody or hears somebody, he goes towards the sound.
Yeah.
He starts pulling me, and he just went out and went to the tree and used the bathroom.
So you put him on a leash when you take him
Okay.
Otherwise,
out. Where's that leash at? Where do you keep the leash?
well, it's right inside the door. Open the door, there's like 3 stuffed animals up here, and there's a hook right there, and he's usually the chain's usually hooked right there, so it's easy to get to.
So you brought the dog back in. You got back in bed. Which side of the bed do you sleep on? Usually somebody has their own side. I know I have my side.
We sleep with our heads towards the couch. We was sleeping the other way, but it was just too stuffy, so we sleep with our head really at the foot of the bed,
Mm-hmm.
and I sleep on the side closest to the window.
Okay. So you brought the dog back in. You got back in bed, right?
Yeah.
All right. Did you go back to sleep?
I curled up next to him and fell back asleep within a few minutes.
And I know it's kind of hard, but
I just didn't know that was going to be the last time. I would have held him a little tighter or something. I'm sorry.
that's all right. I mean, you understand why we got to talk to you. You got to figure out what happened. So how did you get woke back up, or what happened from that point? And about what time was it, if you know?
I'm not sure what time it was. I'm assuming it was around 6. And the dog was growling in the window. And I told him to get down. And he was kind of making a whiny sound, and sometimes he'll do that if he's like out of food or water. So I got up to go check his dishes to make sure he had water. And see, this is the bed. I got out over here. Then I come up, and when I got around here, I could kind of sense there was somebody there, but I couldn't see him because there wasn't any lights on. And I kind of stopped. I don't know why, because I was sensing something, and I kind of turned back around towards the window, and somebody just like knocked me or something, and I went flying backwards. And like the TV's here, and the couch is here. I landed with my head like right here. Like I went straight back, and my head kind of bounced on the floor. And then I must have blacked out because I don't remember anything for a while. And when I started waking up, I'm assuming somebody was holding me down or something, because I felt a weight on my chest, and I couldn't get up, and I couldn't breathe. And I can't tell you if it's because they had their hand over my mouth, or if it was because I could tell that his pepper spray had been sprayed, because my eyes was like watering, and it was that he just got it a couple weeks ago, and he had to try it out outside the window.
So he didn't try it out on you, did he?
No, and it blew back in the window. You know, he was just like blowing it and was going to take a little sniff, so and it came back in the window. We had to leave for a while, take the dog with us. But I knew what it was, because like my eyes are still like tender from it.
Where does he keep his pepper spray?
It was on his nightstand, and his gun was in his nightstand.
What kind of gun? A handgun, I assume. Is it a revolver? Is it a semi-automatic?
I want to say it's a 3-something.
380 maybe?
Yeah.
Do you want to call him? See what he's got? Okay, I'll keep talking to him. Alright. So keeps his pepper spray on the nightstand and the gun in the nightstand. And a revolver spins around. This is semi-auto.
And he might have been right at my husband. I'm not sure. I know there's ammunition somewhere around.
There's ammo in the house. Alright.
I don't know if I had a sawed-off shotgun, but I don't know if it was in the apartment or if it's at my dad's house. My dad was keeping it for a while.
Maybe at your dad's?
Possibly.
Okay.
Just not in the closet by the computer.
Alright. So let's go back just a little bit because I'm trying to make notes so I don't forget anything you say. Were you in the kitchen or still in the living room when you got knocked down?
I was in the living room.
Okay, you're still in the living room. Were you headed to the kitchen or where's the dog's bowls?
The dog bowl was in the kitchen.
Okay.
And I had started to go towards the kitchen. And something made me turn around. And when I turned around, I was shoved backwards. So I was facing the front door
Okay.
when I was shoved.
Alright. You fell down, hit your head. You may or may not have blacked out.
Sure.
You're sure you blacked out? Alright. Because is that concrete floors underneath those?
I'm sure.
I imagine it is, but I don't know.
I just know when I woke up, I felt like my head was splitting open.
Okay. And then you come to at some point, and do you see somebody on top of you, or you just feel a weight on your chest?
I'm feeling weight. I tried kicking my feet, and I wasn't getting up. And I could hear Chuck saying why, and help, and I heard a male voice, a black man, I could tell just by his speech. The man, where's it at? And I heard whoever it was that was, well, I know there has to be two because there was one voice I would hear that was right there with me, and then there was the other voice that I heard more where Chuck was, and the guy who was close to me said, "Hurry," and a little bit I heard the front door open, and it's gone, and I got up and I spoke his name and he didn't answer, so I believe I went to the kitchen and turned the light on above the stove so I could find my cell phone. When I turned around and seen him, there was blood everywhere. And I felt like I was gonna throw up. And I grabbed the dog and his leash and went in the bathroom, and that's where I called the police, and the dispatcher had me go back into where he was at. Showed me to check him and see if he was breathing. And I just kept on shaking and pulling on his arm, and he wasn't.
But when you went into the kitchen, did you turn the light on to find your cell phone, or was the light already on, or?
I turned the light on.
Was there any other? Some people have like night lights or anything. Do you guys have any night lights in your house?
The only one that we usually have is in the bathroom, but it wasn't on last night for some reason.
Okay.
And, his computer has a blue light on it that'll flicker sometimes, so the big computer will.
Is it completely black in there, or is it pretty dark when it's dark?
Yeah, but
or?
we keep the curtains open some, and the light from outside will come in some.
So it's not completely dark in there. Did you see what these guys were wearing?
I didn't even see them. When I turned around and the guy shoved me, it was just like a dark figure. And
Were they both black males that you think, or?
sounded like it from their voices.
Dispatcher asked you to go out.
She kept on asking if he was breathing, and I told her I didn't know, and she told me that she needed me to go back out and put him on the phone. And I shook him and I was saying his name. And I told her, I said, I can't put him on the phone. She said, why? And I said, because I think he's dead. He's not moving. Do you want to try CPR? And I said, I don't know that I could do that. I said, I mean, he's standing there and his eyes are open. And that was about the time the police showed up. And she told me to go walk to the policeman. I went outside. But when I went outside, the apartment door was cracked. It wasn't shut. And when I come in from taking the dog out, it was shut and locked. There's a little switch you can flip over to lock it.
What? Say it again?
There's, on the door, you close it and it latches, and then there's a little button that slides over that keeps the handle from moving, so it's like extra lock and lock it. Whatever.
So what you're saying is that when you went to take the dog out,
It was locked, and when I took it out to the bathroom, it was locked. I unlocked it. I brought him back inside. I locked it back. When I walked out to go meet the policeman, the door wasn't even shut all the way.
So you think, well, let's go back just a little bit to where the dog was barking or growling at the window. You said he was up in the window?
He had a foot outside the window.
Okay.
He sits up there and looks out, and he was barking. So I just assumed it was a cat or a squirrel or something he was barking at, because it kind of sounded like it did when he does that. So I told him, I said, come on, Rocco, and he kind of whimpered a little bit, and so that's when I got up to go check his food dish, because he usually whimpers when he needs food. And that's fine.
Did you hear somebody coming in the window? Because nobody come in your door, right? You had that locked.
When I take this medication, it puts me so out of it. And Chuck's got up in the middle of the night and watched TV and been on the computer and stuff. I haven't even heard him. And sometimes it'll take me a moment to come out of like the fog or whatever I'm sleeping in. I just got up like normal. I mean, like I said, when I walked around the front of the bed, I just had a bad sense. And that's why I turned back around.
So did you get out of bed on the side of the window and then walk on?
Yeah, got up, walked to here, had a bad sense. I turned around, because the kitchen's over here. Turned around, just because, I don't know, something was telling me to do that. And when I did, I got shoved.
Okay.
I fell back.
But before you got out of bed, the dog was right here,
Mm-hmm.
growling at the window.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He does that all the time. I had no way of knowing if there was somebody there. He spent all day growling at the window.
That's the
People
dog's
growl,
job.
Rabbits, cats, other dogs.
Need another water? No? Pop or anything? I don't have any of those, sorry. So when you said you shook him, what part of him did you shake?
I think Before I walked straight to him, I kind of walked over to his side of the bed. Because by that point the kitchen light was on and I was just trying to see what was going on. Then I walked around and he was kind of laying on his back, laying on his side, and his head was over the end of the bed and his arm was across his face, and I just kind of shook his arm, and then I shook his shoulder, and I touched his face, and I was just, sweetie, wake up, sweetie, and his eyes was open, and then I just kind of fell on the living room floor, and I was crying, and she made me get back up and check again to see if he was breathing, and when she asked me if I could do CPR, and then she said that the police officers was there and for me to walk and meet them. At the point that I was waking up right after they left, the dog was going back and forth between me and my husband, looking our faces. I had to get him off of Chuck. Because he was over on top of Chuck when...
He's just confused. He didn't know
I
what's
know.
going on. So the dispatcher then told you to go out, and you took the dog out, right? You guys went outside?
Yeah.
And then that's when you started talking to the policeman. All right, we'll take a quick break. Sure you don't want me to get you water? Sure? Hot water.
I said I don't have anything.
Coke?
Diet Coke?
Diet Coke? Got one of those? All right. We'll be right back.
Pandora Zan's own daughter soon points the finger at her brother, Cody Henderson. When police confront Henderson, he breaks down and admits to killing Charles. Investigators struggle to find a motive until they discover $500,000 in life insurance policies that pays out to Pandora Zan. Convinced the supposed victim is a killer, police bring Pandora down to the station. When they confront her, she folds, promising to tell them everything.
Okay, Pandora, before we start talking to you here, since you're in custody now, we have to go through the formality of reading your rights, and so...
I know we've already been over everything, so we just, like I told you a while ago, we want to get a straight shot from the beginning instead of dancing around. So just follow along as he reads these, and if you understand it, put your initials by it.
You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to make any statements or answer any questions. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions, and to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you don't have the money to hire a lawyer appointed by the court or a lawyer from the public defender's office will be provided to you before and during any questioning without any cost to you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time. You will also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk with a lawyer.
Yeah, because when I got my probation, I got $130.
You charged him?
Really?
Yeah, attorney fee. Sure did.
Read this paragraph out loud to us, just so we know you can read.
The above statement of rights has been read to me. I understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure of any kind has been used against me. I have completed 12 plus years of school.
How much school have you completed, by the way? How many years did you take some college?
I did a 900-hour diversified business occupations technical program.
What was
Manchester Technical in Middletown, and
that?
I've got about 2 years of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
900 hours, that's a lot of class.
It was a whole year.
Did you get a kind of degree
I got a
out of that?
certificate.
A
I
certificate?
got a certificate. I got
Is
a
that
job at.
for a degree or
Some of the
degree?
classes transfer over. I got my job at Lebanon City Schools from that program.
What was you doing there?
I was working in the treasurer's office as an accounting specialist.
Oh, really?
Chuck talked me into quitting that job. Dumb.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
No, I had 2.5 years in, I was making
Oh.
$13 an hour. He wanted me to be home.
Insurance, I bet.
Oh,
at
my
the
God.
school.
Yeah.
And you said Warren County?
Lebanon. Yeah.
Lebanon? Those are
Mhm.
some good
With
schools
the
down
state
there.
retirement system too.
Yeah.
Wow. And Misty's going to Sinclair, right? Or
No,
was
she
going-
graduated from Rex with her associate degree in
Oh, I thought-
applied,
thought she was
applied
Sinclair.
business, and a paralegal, and she wants to start going back. She wants. She wants to go to law school.
Yeah. Sometimes like that.
She was mouthing stuff off to me after my visit with Cody, and you know, she's pushing me to make a call to the prosecutor's office to let him know that he told me about the deal, and I've been putting it off. I did talk to my probation
But
officer.
but she didn't know
No,
everything.
no,
She didn't know the truth, right?
no.
And she wasn't part of this.
Oh no,
Just
no.
you and Cody and that
Just
was
me and
it.
Cody.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys didn't marry anybody else involved. I mean, it's bad enough you two were involved, but it's good you didn't involve anybody else.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's start back at, what I want to do is I want, again, to go over the reasons, you know, like the different reasons in the past why you were to this point with Chuck. But first, I just want to kind of start at Wednesday, go through Saturday, then we'll go back and we'll talk about, you know, this is why I was so built up, this is why I was at the end of my rope, and we'll talk about that. So I think that's important that that's heard.
Do you
Okay?
think it's going to make any difference?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I do think so.
Because like I told you before, if there's no reason for this, if you don't give a reason, people are just going to think you're cold-hearted. And I don't think you're cold-hearted. I think you just made a bad decision. You've got the bipolar thing going on that makes you do things you wouldn't normally do. And this was your only way out. The only way you knew to get out. And if you're going to get out, there's no reason why you couldn't benefit from it at the same time. I mean, that may have been secondary. The most important part was to get out, I think.
It was.
Okay.
It was just to be done with it.
And the money was secondary, right? Okay.
The money really didn't matter to me. It was,
The money mattered to Cody.
yeah.
More to Cody.
What did you tell Cody you'd get him out of it then?
He was talking about a car, and I was like, yeah, you know,
Yeah, I'll
get
get
a
you a
car,
car.
and you know, make sure your boys are taken care of,
Okay.
and you know, I'll
Okay.
give you money, and
Okay.
I mean the same kind of thing that I've told Misty since then. If I
Right.
ever got any money, if
This
I was
is
going to
right.
make sure she had a
Okay.
dependable vehicle, and I was going to set up a trust fund for
Grandkids.
the
Okay.
grandkids, and
Well, let's start with Wednesday, because Wednesday's the night you told Cody that, right?
Wednesday afternoon. Yeah.
Wednesday afternoon. Okay, let's just go straight there, and we'll just make it quick, and
Yeah, we shouldn't have been here real long.
Yeah.
I called Misty. And so Wednesday, what was the conversation Wednesday?
We were riding, and
You and Cody.
me and Cody, and I think I was kind of in a quiet mood, and he asked me what was going on, and I told him that I couldn't stay with Chuck anymore, that I was done with it. He had hurt me a couple days before that, being too rough, and
During sex.
during sex, and had started talking because I thought I had the transsexual thing nipped.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you didn't.
I didn't,
Mm.
and he started talking about it again. How bad that he really wanted to bring one into the marriage, and I just told Cody, I said, I can't do this anymore. I said, one of us is going to end up dying. I did tell Cody that, which he knew, that I hadn't thought about suicide for a long time. And I said, I just don't want to do this anymore. I said, I'm tired of feeling this way. I mean, 7 years of feeling like, 8 years, feeling like you're not enough. You can't even please your husband, and I did everything I could. I mean, I get up at him at, he had to be at work at 4:30. I would get up at him at 3:15 in the morning and pack his lunch and help lay his clothes out and iron his, you know, I would make sure his uniforms was ironed, and I would polish his boots for him, and I mean, just, I mean, I did everything for him, and when he shared that with people he worked with, they were like, why do you treat her like crap? Because they would hear him sometimes on the phone talking to me, some of the guys that he, why does she put up with you, you know?
Yeah.
But then he always made everything out to be me. Everything was my fault, you know, well, if you weren't this way, if you weren't that way, then I wouldn't be doing this, and you wouldn't make me feel like this, and
And so you told Cody you might be thinking about suicide too?
I just told him that I was going to end this one way or another, and
Meaning that you were going to kill Chuck, or you going to kill yourself?
that was what I was talking
okay.
about.
Okay.
And
Want to clarify that.
and he said, Mom, you don't want to do that. He says, how are you going to live? And I said, well, I'm on disability. You know, if I leave him, I'll be okay. I mean, I'll make sure I'm okay. I was going to get spousal support. I would have got part of his retirement for the years that we were married, just like Darlene did. And I said, you know, I can always get a part-time job. And I said, I'll do what I have to do. And he said, a better solution is if Chuck was dead. He said, you wouldn't have to put up with him anymore. He said, because you know he's never going to leave you alone. And he said, you'd have the insurance money. You'd be taken care of. You wouldn't have to worry about things, worry about working. And I said, I know, you're right. That would solve a lot of problems, but I'm still going to make it. I mean, like I said, my counselor and I have been talking about it for a long time. And she had actually recently had a recent visit before that, asked me just how much more I was going to take before I left. She said, whether you believe it or not, you are strong enough to do it at this point. And then he says, I'm serious. He says, I could just kill him and I would take care of everything. And I said, well, you know, you're right. If he was dead, it would take care of everything. You know, he wouldn't hurt people and be mean to people, and wouldn't have to put up with all the perversions and the abuse. Whether the physical abuse stopped and the mental abuse kicked in 10 times as worse. How many times he told me he'd hate me, they hated me. So why did you marry me? And we started talking about the money and what could be done with it. And he's like, Mom, I'm serious. I'll take care of this. He says, I'll take care of him.
About the insurance money, and what could be done with it.
Right. And he's like, he says, I can do this. He says, I cut the brakes, but I'm afraid you're the one that's driving it. And he said, if I used a gun, it would be too loud. He said, so I'll just get a knife and I'll just slit his throat. And he says, it'll be done with, and you won't have to deal with him anymore. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, I wouldn't. Because he wasn't going to leave me alone. That was obvious.
He wasn't going to let you out of marriage, I think is what you told me earlier.
He wasn't. He wouldn't have let me out of marriage.
So this seemed like, at the time...
It seemed like a solution because those last 2 or 3 weeks, it had just got... I was miserable. I couldn't wait for him. He went back to work. I couldn't wait for him to leave. I dreaded him coming home.
It was the end of your road.
Yeah, because I mean, it was constantly something. I didn't cook something right. I didn't clean something right. I didn't straighten something right. And, you know, I would try to walk away from fights, and oh my gosh, he'd get in my face. He'd grab me. That's how I got some of my bruises. I would try to walk away from him when he was yelling at me. And he would leave bruises on my arms. He left fingerprints on my neck one time. I had to wear turtlenecks for days until it went away. And I know my family was seeing it. And,
So Cody brought this up. You guys decided that is a good idea. Ended up on the knife, and you're like, that sounds like a good idea. Because of him killing Chuck, you were going to get him a car or something, and you were going to get yourself a house or something like that.
Take care of the grandkids.
Right, take care of his kids if he did it, and take care of him if he did it. But on your end, you were going to take care of getting yourself a house. And is that accurate?
some kind, you know, having
Okay.
some kind of security and,
Okay.
and taking care of Chuck's son over in Germany and
Okay.
pay my parents back.
Okay.
So that conversation was on Wednesday.
Mhm.
And then what happened Thursday? Let's just go right into Thursday. Did anything else happen Wednesday that we haven't talked about?
No, and
Okay.
Thursday,
Thursday.
you know, I took him out to the hospital. Nothing was said about it. And nothing was said again until I stopped at Walmart after I picked him up to come up there and work on the Jeep because he told Chuck he'd work on the Jeep. And when he came out with a knife, and I asked him what that was for, and he said, this was when I used to kill Chuck.
Well, let's back up. You went and picked Cody up at where, his dad's, or where was
He went to
it?
Michelle's,
Oh,
to
Michelle.
Brittany's.
You went and picked him up, brought him back up to work on the Jeep, or
Took him to the atrium or...
I took him to the atrium, and
was that Thursday or Friday?
That's
that was
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
But I'm thinking I left him and went. I don't think he came with me
I
right
think you
away.
dropped him off and then come back.
And then I came back for him because Chuck had something was messed up with the Jeep, and Cody said that he would help him.
But you went and picked Cody up, and then before you got home, you guys stopped somewhere. Where'd you stop?
We stopped at Walmart.
Yeah.
We stopped at Walmart.
All right. What happened at Walmart?
I went in to get stuff to make homemade pizza. He said he wanted to stay in the Jeep and listen to the music. And when I came,
You gave him some money.
I'd given him money earlier in the
What
day.
was that earlier?
I think after I picked him up, I gave him money because he said he was going to need cigarettes at some point, and said he needed to buy a T-shirt or something. And he had a little bit of cash on him, and I told him that would be for working on a Jeep. And
Do you remember how much you gave him?
I'm thinking it was a 20. I'm thinking I gave him $20.
Okay.
And I came out of Walmart and he wasn't there. He had the keys. And he came out a little bit later and had the knife and showed it to me. He was getting it out of the thing. And I said, what's this? And he says, this is when we used to kill Chuck.
And I think while ago you told us what he said he was going to do with it. Besides kill Chuck, how he was going to kill Chuck.
He was going to slit his throat.
Okay.
He was going to slit his throat. And he said he was going to do it sometime over the weekend. And
What other conversation was had about that, or how it was going to happen, or when it was going to happen?
he didn't say for sure when. He just, I mean, there wasn't any more plans than that. He just said that
No exact time or anything like
No.
that? Okay.
he would be there sometime that weekend.
All right.
And
And Friday?
Friday morning he called me and asked me about renting a car for him. And I told him I had to talk to Chuck about it, and I talked to Chuck, and the main reason was he did want to get his driver's license.
Okay, no. The main reason
Well, I mean-
was he wanted to get his driver's license. But also, he had told you
He needed a vehicle to come up there.
and do it, and do it.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's, the main reason was for the license, but it was also because he needed a car to come up
Right,
And-
he
and
said
kill-
he'd
and kill
like to
Chuck.
have a vehicle to run around in for the day.
Yeah,
So to come up and take care of Chuck, but then also to run around in.
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't have a vehicle to come up and do it, so he,
Need the vehicle to come up and kill Chuck, and he wanted to run around in it, and he wanted to get his license.
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then you guys talked some Friday.
Yeah.
I think you told us earlier that you told him you weren't sure if it was going to work. Is that
I
what you
told him
said?
that I didn't think it was a good idea, and he said, Mom, you're worried about nothing, and I've got this. And I said, no, Cody, I don't think this is a good idea. You know,
You told us a while ago you didn't think it would work. What did you mean by that?
just,
You thought maybe you guys get caught, or what
I
did you mean by
thought that it wasn't gonna, it wouldn't be as easy as what Cody thought it would be,
Mhm.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
that-
Okay.
that-
Right on.
that Chuck would,
Chuck the fighter.
yeah,
Okay.
And
So-
Cody reassured you that it'll be fine.
yeah, that he could take Chuck.
So at some point, because obviously Cody's your son, you didn't want him to get hurt when he does this. At some point, you move the gun, correct?
Yeah, Chuck was in the bathroom,
Where-
Friday evening sometime.
Where was the gun when you found it?
It was in the nightstand, and I put it in the toy box
The toy box
by the window,
The window.
under the window.
Okay. And that's so Chuck couldn't shoot Cody when he come in with the knife.
Right.
Okay. You weren't sure what time he was coming, if I remember, right?
Right.
He didn't call you and say, I'm on my way, or anything like that. He just showed up, and you told me he was tapping on the window or something, saying Mom, or...
I heard a noise at the window, and that's when I got up. Because I had just been up with the dog like an hour before that, and had gone back to sleep.
Yeah. Why was your window open? It was cold that night. Was your window open?
Mm-hmm.
It was cold. Wasn't you cold sleeping?
I was. Chuck was having trouble breathing and wanted the window open.
Okay.
Why was he having trouble breathing?
His head was all stuffed up, his sinuses or something other, and,
Why was I sleeping with the cold window open?
well, that's what I told him. But
Now after Cody you're telling him, I don't know if it's going to work because he's a fighter and it might not be as easy, and he reassured you that it's okay, Mom, I got this, I can take him. Then after that, in your mind, you're just, if he says he can take him, he can take him?
yeah, but when I talked to him later on in the evening, he'd been doing drugs and stuff like that, so I started thinking, okay, he's not going to show up.
You thought he wasn't going to show
No,
up?
I didn't think he was
Okay.
going to show up.
Okay.
But you're still nervous because he said he was going to sometime in the weekend.
Yeah,
That's why
I
you
was.
that's why you originally told me you was nervous he was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You thought he was coming, you just wasn't sure if he was coming, you didn't know when.
I didn't know when.
Okay. So he shows up, knocks on the window, it's Mom. Then what happened from there?
I opened the door. He told me to get out of the apartment. I had the dog in my arms. And I went outside. And it was quiet for a little bit. And then I heard them start, and
And that's when you realized it was a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't as easy as what the two of you thought it would be, because Chuck's a fighter, correct?
I didn't think it was going to be easy. That's why I kept on telling Cody,
Right.
it's not going to be easy. And he was so confident because he's invincible.
But you, at that point, I think a while ago when we talked, at that point when you're hearing Chuck yelling help and why, because he's saying why, that's the point where you really start regretting this decision that you and Cody made, correct?
Yeah, but it was
It was wrong.
it was reality, and it was
Yeah.
it was happening, and I wanted it to
It
stop.
was probably like he's in a movie or something.
It was
Just-
like I was in slow motion. I couldn't even think. I couldn't move.
But by that point, it was too late to turn back.
Yeah. And then all I
Okay.
could think about was protecting Cody.
Okay, fair enough. When you went back in, you said he asked you to help find the knife because lost the knife. And you said I think you said you helped him find the knife? Or
I
helped look for it?
I looked around on the floor, and I think I turned on the kitchen light so there was more light. And I lifted the cover up to see, and he finally found it.
Okay. But at no point did you go get another knife,
No.
correct?
No, he
Because
went
what
because-
some of the story before is that you went and got another knife.
No, he told me to go get him a knife,
Yeah.
and I didn't move.
Okay.
And he
I think you were scared on a couch or something.
I was,
at that point.
I collapsed on the couch.
And when you're in there, what are you seeing now that you're back in the? How did you get back in the apartment? He told you to come back and help him find the knife. Is that when? Or
He was yelling for me, and I wasn't doing anything when he called me a bitch and told me to get inside. And
he wasn't threatening you. He's just mad because you're not coming in, right? Correct.
correct.
He wasn't threatening you. He just, bitch, get back in here. He's mad because he's all hyped up. He's doing this, and he needed help finding the knife. He's kind of freaking out. Is that accurate? All right. So you go back in, and you had told me that Chuck was on the floor, and you saw him maybe doing something.
He was on the floor in between the bed and the nightstand, and that's when Cody was trying to get me to go get another knife, and I wouldn't, and he stomped Chuck in the head.
Okay.
Kicked him in the head like 2 or 3 times.
So he was trying to get you to go get another knife.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. I
Okay.
wasn't moving because I came in, I seen everything, and I just kind of melted on the couch and couldn't move.
And at that point, and we kind of talked a little bit earlier, at that point, you see a lot of blood, correct?
Cody was covered from head to toe.
Cody's covered in blood. Chuck is covered in blood. Blood's on your bed, on the floor, on the walls. Cody was originally, the plan was Cody was going to go in, slit his throat, and be done. That was it, right? And when you went in and seen all that, when we initially interviewed you, I told you that you had told me it wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be that messy. You were referring to it wasn't supposed to be that bloody. It was supposed to be one cut to the throat and done. Right? Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Because Chuck put up such a fight, it shouldn't have got like that.
It was
That's what you meant by that comment when you talked to me, correct?
correct.
All right.
There was blood everywhere. You seen it.
Yeah, it was a bloody mess. So, trying to think. So, you said he kicked Chuck, then he went to the kitchen to get another knife.
And while he was in the kitchen, Chuck managed to get back up on the bed.
And where were you at that point?
Still sitting on the
On
couch.
the couch.
I didn't move off the couch until Cody was almost ready to leave.
And I think you said Chuck, you weren't sure if Chuck knew who was doing that to him.
He didn't say Cody's name.
Okay.
He didn't say my name. He just,
So Cody goes and gets another knife from the kitchen, correct?
Mhm.
And comes back in and stabs him some more. But at that point, Chuck had got back up on the bed, or was he just, how did he end up from the floor to the bed? Was he trying to get up and fell down, or did Cody tackle him, or how did he get
I
back
don't
up?
know. He was in the floor when I came inside. He was already in the floor when I came inside, so I don't know how he
You were
got.
sitting on your couch that's right in front of the bed.
But Cody kicked him and went in the kitchen,
So he's on the side where the nightstand is, the side of the bed.
and he
Okay.
started pulling himself up, and I closed my eyes for a little bit
Oh.
and covered him
Okay.
because
Did you see Chuck trying to go for his gun in the drawer?
not at that point.
Not at that point. Did you see that at some point?
No,
Did Cody ever
the
tell you he went for his gun?
nightstand was already, everything was already a mess.
Okay. How did he get maced, Chuck? Who maced him?
Cody.
Was you in there for that?
No, I think Cody had done it before I come in, and told me that he had maced him.
Where was the mace kept before that?
I can't remember if it was in the nightstand drawer or if it was on the shelf underneath the nightstand. It was right there by the nightstand.
How did Cody know where that was at?
He may have seen it. I don't know. I
Okay.
didn't know anything about May. I smelt it when I come in.
One question that I've had for you that I don't think I've asked you yet is, we found the glove there in the living room that Cody used, the rubber glove. That was a glove from your apartment, right? Because we had the lab do comparisons, and so that glove was from one of the gloves in the apartment. Where did that glove, at what point did you give the glove to Cody? Was it that night, Friday, Thursday? When was that you gave Cody one of the gloves? Because the lab's telling us they are the same gloves. At what point did you give Cody the glove? Did he have two?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But he took them when he was at the apartment on Thursday.
Oh.
Because they were laying out all over the place.
So
Chuck kept his gloves, I mean, he took some when Chuck had gone to the bathroom when we were eating pizza and stuff like that. He grabbed them and stuck them in his pocket.
Okay, but that was part of the plan, so he had gloves, right?
I thought he was going to bring gloves from home or something, actual gloves. He grabbed the rubber gloves.
But you saw him get the gloves because you knew it was when Chuck was in the bathroom. But that was part of the plan. He had gloves, so he wouldn't leave fingerprints like a knucklehead, right?
Right, but
Okay.
I didn't think...
You're saying you didn't know if he was going to use those ones?
I didn't think that he would use rubber gloves because they're not really...
Did you guys talk about using gloves
No.
on? You just figured he'd wear gloves?
I figured he would wear gloves.
So after this happens, he's all bloody because he cut himself, right? With in the hand with a blade or something. So he goes where?
He went into the bathroom and I was still sitting on the couch and this was after Chuck was gone. And he was yelling out orders at me,
What kind of orders?
Get the laptop, get the con, come here, and I just kept on sitting there. And he actually grabbed the bag and brought it to me, and I held it open, and he was putting computer stuff in there, and then asked me where the gun was, and I told him it was in the toy box.
Okay, so he got the gun, right? Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, at some point when you guys were planning this, at some point I assume you guys decided to make it look like a robbery or something. I would think that's what he's doing, is trying to make it look like a robbery.
We didn't even discuss.
You didn't discuss that?
No.
Until that morning?
We didn't even discuss it because I asked him what I was supposed to tell the police, and he told me to come up with something and left.
So you guys never discussed a cover-up story to it?
No.
So that cover-up story was totally yours, it wasn't his?
That was all I could think of.
He didn't help you come up with that story, that was just your story. All right, fair enough. So at some point, you do get up from the couch and go to the bathroom. I thought you said that's why, when he was in there.
When he was in there, I finally got up because he said, "Mom, I cut myself," and I walked in there to see what he was talking about, and he showed me his hand, and he washed it up some, and I don't know if he put toilet paper on it, if he put something on it to try to get it to stop bleeding, and then he grabbed the stuff and said he was getting out of there before the police come.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, "What am I supposed to tell the police?" And he says, "Well, I guess you'll figure out something," and he left.
And at some point, you said you're sitting on the bathroom floor and you've got the dog, and you see that he's got a bloody handprint or some blood on the wall in the bathroom.
I walked back in the living room with him when he was leaving, and when I started to walk, I grabbed my phone to call the police, and when I grabbed my phone off the kitchen counter, that's when I seen the blood on the bowl. And I can't remember if I wiped it, if I rinsed it off, or what, but I seen, like a streak of blood.
You either wiped it or washed it off.
Off the bowl?
Off the bowl.
And that was that Cody's blood or was that Chuck's blood?
It was I'm saying it's from when Cody went to get the knife.
Okay.
And then I walked in the bathroom, and I was sitting in the bathroom floor, and I was trying to compose myself, and that's when I seen the blood on the wall, and I just grabbed a piece of toilet paper and wet it and wiped it off and put it down the toilet and called the police.
Well, why did you do that?
I don't know. I figured it was a fingerprint, and I knew it had to be Cody's fingerprint because he was in the bathroom.
And you were trying to protect Cody.
I was trying to protect him.
Okay. So was that a palm print, a fingerprint, or was it just a smear? Or it must have sounded like a fingerprint or a palm print because you said it's a print.
It was a fingerprint.
Okay. All right. So you was getting that out there because you knew we'd be coming. We'd be starting an investigation. All right.
Can I take the leave now?
Sure.
You mind if we just look at it first real quick?
Yeah. Hopefully I stuck it in here.
I've actually got aspirin in my office if you need one.
Oh,
Still-
yeah, okay.
Still on the package. Absolutely. If you got a headache, take it.
And then afterwards, did you work with Nick and Cody and like say, hey, sell these computers?
They had already discussed selling the computers. And that first day, couple days, Cody wasn't letting me out of his sight because he was afraid that I was going to say something that I shouldn't say. So he was pretty much keeping me close by, checking on me frequently.
Well, he wasn't with you the whole time.
No, but...
Okay, because I was going to say, because we've talked so many people, I mean, your parents, Bruce,
But you weren't scared of
people.
You weren't scared of Cody. You were actually trying to protect Cody.
I was trying to protect him. And then he took me, he said that Nick had somebody that wanted to buy one of the computers and that they knew how to delete everything on the hard drive. And we went over to where Nick was staying. And Nick came out and got in the car with us and said that he had somebody that wanted to buy it.
Okay.
At some point, you sent some sort of text that said, what would it say? You've seen that more than I have.
Something about, something along the lines of, you wanted 75 a year, right? And you said yes, and then you asked if they were going to come over to your parents' house that night. What was he selling for you?
The computer.
Okay, 75, okay.
Yeah, the computer.
Okay.
It wasn't pills, it was a computer.
I was thinking it was pills. But you said
Did he sell some pills for you too?
I believe so.
Okay.
Because I honestly, because you said earlier that it was the computer, and I was actually thinking the $75 was for some pills.
So he sold the computer and pills. Okay, pills are yours or Chuck's?
Mine.
Yours.
Now, in the autopsy, we found some pills in his system, Chuck's system. And what Cody's telling us, did you mix up any pills and give Cody or Chuck any pills that night to kind of make him sleep better?
No, he took his own pills. He took his Xanaxes, and he had some sleeping pills. And
Does he take those every night? I know you said he took a lot of them, sometimes more than he should.
yeah, he was taking them just about every night because he was staying anxious. Even if he hated being back at work. He hated being back at work.
Did when he takes those every night, does that make him sleepy, more sleepy than he normally would be if he didn't take pills?
Sometimes.
Those pills put you out.
Sometimes he would still be up.
Uh,
And then he'd take more.
uh,
And we had
How did he
conversations
go out?
until he go out, until he gets sleepy. And we had conversations about it because I seen him this one time take 4 together, and then it wasn't making him feel better. Not a couple hours, like an hour later, he took like 2 more. I said, you can't take that many pills. I don't know what kind of resistance you have to things, but most people, they would be unconscious and in a coma by now.
How many did he take that day? Friday night.
I don't know. He took him because we really did have a good day together on that Friday. There was no arguing. It was kind of a rainy, cloudy like day, kind of cool, and we stayed inside and I think we went someplace at one point to a store or something. Maybe rented a movie. But he was staying anxious all the time. He was so miserable with his job.
So did you call him off sick Thursday and Friday in anticipation of what you and Cody had been planning? It was just because
he wanted to be off.
He wanted to be off and be missing. You had to be the one to make the phone call.
Yeah, he always made me make the phone call. He never called himself off sick.
Well, I know you told me originally, and I think you told us a little tonight, but originally you told us that Friday he had called off work. You guys actually had a good day Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You fixed him his favorite meal Friday night. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it was at that point. It was
chicken
paprika or halushka.
It was something from some other country.
Yeah, it was probably chicken paprika.
You told me you fixed him his favorite meal.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had sex.
Mm-hmm.
You guys spent the day together.
Mm-hmm.
Was that all because you knew what was coming over the weekend?
That was him. I mean,
He wanted to have sex. And
he wanted to have sex, and he was the one that made the day okay. Because usually he would take a day off to spend with me, and we did nothing but fight. And he was just in a...
Well, since you knew this was coming over the weekend, if you were just trying to make these last day great,
No, it just worked out that way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it just, I let him, he always was the one that led the tone of our time together.
Okay.
But I don't know how many pills he took that day. I know I've seen him take them a couple times, but I don't know how many, I stopped asking him how many he was taking. I know, was it that day? It was sometime, he had me, it may have even been that day, he had me call Adrian looking for pills, to have him look for some Clonopins or something for him.
But Cody, what pills did Cody normally sell? Was it yours or Chuck's?
These my pain pills, my Percocet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me just recap. You tell me if I'm accurate.
And I got an ear too from that film.
Chuck's was especially bad the last couple of weeks, treating you bad, rough sex, wanting to move a transvestite into your home because he's meeting all these people online.
Mm-hmm.
You've had it. You're tired of dealing with it. You're at some point here recently, and you didn't want to tell your therapist, but you were being suicidal, thinking suicidal thoughts because of your relationship with Chuck. So that Wednesday before this all happened, you talked to Cody and said, I'm thinking about committing suicide. Somebody's going to die. And I'm thinking about committing suicide. He's like, oh, Mom, no. Don't commit suicide. My mom, I don't want anything to happen to you. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of Chuck. I'm going to kill Chuck. Let's figure out how we can do it. And Cody starts throwing ideas out there. Cody says, hey, I can do the brakes. I can fix the brakes on the Jeep. No, that might hurt you or it might not work. I could shoot him. No, it's too loud. Somebody might know here. I'll get a knife and I'll cut his throat. And if we kill him, you'll be free from him. You won't have to put up with him anymore. You'll get Cody, and this is Cody telling you this. You'll get insurance money, and then the two of you start talking about how you can spend the insurance money if you get it. Am I right so far? Okay.
I'll stop looking.
All right. I'm just trying to recap. You guys are talking about the insurance money and what will happen when he does it. He's talking about I'll do it this weekend. Then Wednesday rolls into Thursday. Thursday, at some point, you go pick Cody up, take him to the atrium, you drop him off somewhere else. You later pick him up to bring him back to help him work on the Jeep and fix supper for the guys. In between picking Cody up that second time, you stop at Walmart, You go get pizza, you give Cody $20 for cigarettes or whatever. You weren't sure what you're giving $20 for at that point. You come back out, Cody's gone, Cody's inside, comes back out, has the knife. Says, this is a knife I'm going to slit Chuck's throat with. I'm going to kill him this weekend. And not a whole lot of conversation happens at that point, but Cody said, I'm going to do it this weekend. Thursday night rolls into Friday. Friday morning, at some point in there, Cody says, I need a car. Some to go get my license, some to drive around in, and if I'm going to come up there and do this to Chuck, I need wheels to get away. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're all right. And you did talk to Chuck about that?
About renting the car.
About renting the car?
Yeah.
All right. So you talk to Chuck. Chuck says, yeah, you're renting the car. Cody comes, gives you money. How much money did he give you?
I think it was $250. I think that's what the deposit was, and I stopped at the bank.
That's what the deposit was.
And
I got it.
I stopped at the bank and deposited the money into Chuck's account so we could use his
And
card.
the bank you stopped at was the Walmart bank,
Mm-hmm.
Wood Forest.
Wood Forest.
All right. So you deposit the $250 to rent the car. At that point, Cody and Brittany are with you, or Michelle. Cody and Michelle are with you. You guys go from the bank, the bank and Walmart, over to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. You rent the car, but you tell Cody you don't want him being seen because you're not supposed to let anybody else drive the rental car.
Right, so they waited around the corner.
They waited around the corner at the the movie theater. Or right around the corner.
Right around the
somewhere.
corner, like, TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx.
Yeah, in front of
Okay.
TJ Maxx.
So they're around the corner, somewhere around the corner there. You take him, give him the rental car, you take the Jeep back, and then he goes on. But renting that car was for multiple reasons. One, for him to get his license. 2, to run around. And 3 is basically a getaway car, for lack of better terms, correct?
Correct.
All right, and you knew that initially when you rented it for him.
Correct.
Friday, you tell him, you have like 20-some phone conversations with him.
I just kept on trying to convince him that it wasn't a good idea, and that I was...
And he says something a little different, but it's a little different. But he's saying you guys talked about it a little more Friday, but you're telling him, I'm not sure if it'll work. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but you don't tell him don't at this point.
Your thing is Chuck's a fighter. It's going to be harder than you think it is. And Cody says, I got this, Mom.
Right.
Okay.
So from that point, you and Cody part. I don't think you've seen him after that, after you rented the car. Now you know he's coming over the weekend, possibly Friday. That's why you're all nervous, Friday evening. So you don't want, when Cody comes to confront Chuck with a knife, you don't want Cody to get shot.
Right.
So you take the knife or the gun out of the drawer, the nightstand drawer where Chuck keeps it, and you hide it in the toy box over by the window. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And then you're nervous, you're not sure he's coming, you're not sure when he's coming, but then sometime Friday night, Saturday morning, early Saturday morning, you tap at the window, hey Mom, I'm out here. You open the door, let Cody in. Back up. At some point Friday, I think you said he got a gloves from your house.
It was Thursday when we were there working on the job.
Okay.
I seen him stick some gloves in his pocket.
Okay, so Thursday he got the gloves from the apartment. So Saturday morning, knocks on the window, Mom, I'm here. Tells you, step out if you don't want to be part of that. You step out, open the door, let him in. He comes in. It's worse than you could imagine because Chuck is fighting. It didn't work, stabbing him once like Cody said he would do. So it's much worse than, it wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be this messy. That comment you made to us was accurate. It wasn't supposed to be this messy. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. You come back in, you see Cody kicking Chuck. Cody tells you to help him find a knife at some point. You try to help him find a knife, but at that point, he finds it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He tells you to go get another knife before he found his knife. You said no, you're on the couch. You close your eyes, At some point, Chuck's trying to get back up on the bed. Cody goes and gets a knife, another knife from the kitchen, right?
We didn't look for the knife until after Chuck was dead.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So Cody gets another knife, finishes what he's doing. He tells you to help him find a knife. You guys help look for the knife, but Cody found it. At some point, somebody cleaned the knife off. It looked like a kitchen knife or something on the rag.
It was a steak knife that he used.
Yeah, that's what it looked like on the rag, because the rag's folded up. Did you clean that off, or did Cody?
No, that was Cody.
So Cody cleaned that off. He took the knife with him, right?
Correct.
He brings you out a bag. You hold the bag open. He's putting laptops in it, asks you where the gun's at. You tell him it's in the toy box. He goes and gets it, puts it in the bag. He says, Mom, I've cut myself. You're in the bathroom with him. He puts a fingerprint on the wall. You clean that off because you don't want, you see it's a fingerprint. You know, you're trying to protect him. He leaves, tells you to make up whatever story you want. You're on your own. I'm out of here. He leaves. Then we have our interaction for that day, Saturday. When we're all done, you called Cody to come and get you, because I know at some point in our conversation you're saying you're afraid of Cody, but that wasn't true, correct? You're not afraid of Cody. You called him to come get you, and we've already talked. You're not afraid of Cody, correct? Because this wasn't about you. It was about Chuck, correct?
Correct.
So he's not turning anger on you. And in fact, he's, until recently, until here all that, been protecting you. But is all that accurate? Is there anything wrong? He was. All right. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have you write all that. I know. I'm sorry.
But while we're doing that, we're going to call Misty.
And Pandora. When you write your statement out, when you write it out, and be as detailed as possible, when you write that out, I'll go call Misty and have her get started up here. You can smoke in here a little bit. If you want to do it in this statement, or if you want to write a separate statement, if you want to, you can write an apology letter to Chuck's family. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I use my pen?
Absolutely.
Can I
But
call
we got to
Misty
take
now?
the rest of your purse, though. Okay?
And you're going to give this to her when...
Yes.
All right.
You
And you want a white T-shirt, right?
White t-shirt.
All right.
Want me to continue to leave this open, Pandora? Do you want me to shut it for
Can
privacy?
you leave it open?
Leave it
Because they'll
open.
start freaking.
We'll leave it open. Don't want you to freak. She's over at the neighbor. She's going to call me right back, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to write two separate ones, that might be better. If you just write two separate ones, do you
What
want to
should
do
I
separate
say
ones?
to them?
Put it in your words. I can't tell you what's up. If you want to apologize to them, it's whatever you want to put, all right?
Okay.
Okay? I would do that separate than your statement. That way they don't get all the details. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that sound like a good idea to you?
Yeah.
That way you can just write an apology letter in. And Nora, I'm gonna get myself another pop. You want pop or anything? What do you want? I've got all kinds of crap in the fridge.
Actually, I regret saying this, but it's just a bottle of water. I need to initial it at the top of each page, right?
Well, you just print your name at this first page, and then I'll have you sign each page, however many you fill out.
Print my name at the top.
Yeah. Then I'll have you sign the bottom of each page. Yeah, she's supposed to call me back, huh?
Who answered the phone? The guy?
Some guy.
Cameron's dad.
He wouldn't.
The
I
gay
told
guy.
him, I said, well, I don't know.
Cameron's dad's gay.
He said, I told him, I said, I need to talk to Misty. I said, can you have her call? He said, well, she's a neighbor and I can't go get her. It's too cold out to take my kid out. I'm like, it's important. Go get her. Yeah, he said, well, maybe I have a neighbor go get her. Like, she's at the neighbor's. I don't get it. He said he'll have her call me back in a minute.
Would you try Paula's phone if she doesn't come back in the next, they just live across the street. The neighbor just lives across the street. She should have called you back by now. Stands it.
Okay, I haven't heard my phone. I don't. So she's not with, what's his name, Eric? Is that her other boyfriend, Eric?
They got married February 24th. Dumbass. He left her a month ago for a 17-year-old. That's Bella's dad. Tanner's dad hasn't been a part of his life for the last 2 years. Been living in Oklahoma with a guy, and just been up here a couple weeks.
I'll call Paul from here now. All right, Pandora, I got a hold of her.
And
Pandora, I got a hold of her. She's gonna go get your mom, dad, and she's gonna, I don't have a white t-shirt. So get one from your grandpa. Just get up here. Well, she's talking to another officer while I'm talking to her. Apparently there was an accident or something. I don't think it involves her, but she was talking to another officer at the same time she's talking to me. I said, just get up here. So,
did she ask you what it was about?
I think, no. Surprised. I told her you'd been arrested. Didn't even ask. I was kind of surprised she didn't even ask.
She knew. She knew that Cody had said that you guys were about to arrest him. His lawyer told him that.
Yeah, she didn't even act surprised. But, I mean, I think you knew it was coming. You told me that a while ago. You knew at some point it was coming. So it's probably actually been weighing on your mind, just worrying when we were coming, I would think.
Been holding my breath for 6 months.
I figured.
Not been able to have a life.
Pandora, I feel for you, but at the same time I feel for Chuck because he's the one that's dead. So,
if you think that I haven't cried for him, you're wrong.
oh, I believe you
I
have.
have a lot.
I believe you have.
I went and visited his grave, apologized to him.
I believe
I
it.
told him I'm sorry.
I believe that.
And I do still have days where I miss it.
Well, imagine I guys been together for 8 years. I've got an ex-wife. I mean, we didn't have a great relationship, but there was some things I missed about it. Not many, but
I don't miss nothing about my kid's death. Nothing.
about Bruce.
Yeah. You talk to him?
I've talked to everybody in your life, Pandora. What do you think I've been doing for 6 months?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Before I go any further.
Sure.
Was the whole TV counterfeit thing a setup for me? Was it? It was. I knew it. I knew it. How?
For 6 months. I didn't give you fake money and tell you to go spend it.
No, but I mean, how did Judy get involved? Because it was her idea what to do with it. I mean, it really was. I didn't go looking for counterfeit money. I didn't sell a TV.
You sold TV.
Guys,
I believe.
but how did she get involved to set me up?
She's your friend. Well, I didn't have to get involved.
I mean, it was her idea, but yet it ended up backfiring. And then the next thing I know, you guys are talking to Steve's son that's a deputy in Butler County. I mean, I was just, I felt like I felt like she set me up. I felt like, I did. I honestly did.
And honestly, that's the least of your worries.
I know, but that's just been bugging me because I really trust her.
Well, nobody can trust anybody, I'm telling you.
I trusted her. I thought we had been friends for 20-some years.
It's hard to know who to trust, Pandora. But like I said, we have been, we probably know, like I said, a lot more about you than you think we know.
Yeah, I'm sure you know everything. Pretty much an open book.
Oh. Well, take your time. Are you done? Your fingers just tired.
I have fiber on my arms and my arm gets tired.
Is that like a chronic pain thing? Somebody I talked to the other day, I listened to somebody from DUI the other day, and they said their legs, they had that in their legs.
It's all
Is
over.
that horrible?
The worst thing about Montgomery County is I have like herniated disc and stuff in my back, and the beds. And they wouldn't give me
The
any.
what?
The cot. The
Oh, the
spine.
beds, yeah.
They wouldn't give me any of my pain medicine.
Hmm.
Or, any of my medicine for it. Not just pain medicine. I mean, like any of that. I was able to get my bipolar medicine. And you see what you guys can do. Get me back on the medicine fast. It took me a week last time to get on my bipolar medicine.
Well, I can't tell them what to do, but I can tell them that you need it.
And they also was able to get a bottom bunk order for me because I hurt myself trying to climb up into a top bunk.
Mm-hmm.
But they should still have that in my file, right, from where I was there?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell them when to go in.
Okay.
Did you want me to call anybody else, or did you want to call somebody here in a little bit? Did you want to call Terry, or let's do that too, okay?
I really did tell Cody on that Wednesday about the money that Chuck had already got his bonus, and he really wasn't mad about it.
That just kind of added fuel to the fire
That was before,
you told him.
yeah, because he was, when I first started talking about that I was done, and he said something about the money, and I said, Cody, he already got his bonus. He got really mad about it.
Like I said, it sounded like just add fuel to the fire once you told him everything else. Back hurts too, sitting in these chairs. So can I have the first few pages to look at while you're...
Yeah. Please don't make me redo it again.
No. I'm not a school teacher. I don't check spelling. I don't check grammar.
I'm having a hard enough time getting it right this time. I forgot to put in this part about Friday, about me moving the gun, can I write into the margin? Or should I do it at the end?
You just do it wherever they're at, say it, and if you want to put an arrow up to the middle, that's fine too. Here, let me see if that's all right. Can I shut this for just a minute? Because I need to talk to Misty. Now, I can't keep an eye on you. I got obviously watch you, make sure you don't take off. Can I set it for just a minute? All right, that won't freak you out for just a minute. Sorry, she's asking for directions.
She still didn't ask no questions.
Not the first one. She said your mom and dad are getting dressed and then they'd be up. Do you think deep down in her heart she knew?
Maybe. Then again, she could be thinking that it's Cody lying on me and...
Yeah, that could be too. That could be too.
My parents probably know.
I just want to write down a couple questions.
Okay.
I'm ready. Well, just to clarify. Thank you. A lot.
I'm going to have to go to the bathroom really soon.
Okay, you just tell me when.
How is it so far?
Pretty accurate from what you told me. It's the truth, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, it's being clear enough.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I've just got a couple of questions as I'm reading through it that I'll clarify when you're done, but I don't want to stop at trying to talk to him.
Okay, I just got to the point where I called the police. What do you want after that?
If you want to stop there, I can write question and answers after it. If you want to stop there, and then I can write, so your hand gives your hand a break. Is that all right? Just leave it on.
Do you want me to sign at the bottom?
No, not till I'm done.
All right.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't find a bloody rag in the bathroom. That's why, because he's using the old toilet paper tricks.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to go back there before we go.
Yeah, go ahead. You know what's that?
Yes, oh. Did you see the question I wrote down? She mentioned that he
She
said,
said it in there.
she said that he said he could get a car out of it.
Oh, okay.
He said that I could just get him a car. She told us she would get him a car and money.
And take care of the kid.
Right. Car, money, and take care of the kids. Number two, the second thing I'd like her to clarify is when she told us that about the rental car. She said one of the
That's what I've
reasons.
got.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing right now, actually.
Okay. You got why she would be done too.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Well,
We're reading the same thing, aren't we?
You already talked to her before, right?
Right. We talked to everybody you guys know.
She pretended for all that time to be my friend. And she was so glad that her and I...
It wasn't all pretend.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Well, you would know that better than me. You would know it better than me.
Just like Chuck really loved me and my marriage wasn't a big lie.
But continue to do that stuff behind your back and...
Hopefully I'll be able to smoke before they get here.
Well, we'll just make sure you smoke. We can just kind of wait for a few, and we'll go up a back way where they don't see you and let you have a smoke. Sound
And then
good?
I'll have one left before we leave.
Okay, fair enough.
My first question here, Pandora, just to clarify, because I know you wrote so much, it's probably hard for you to remember what all you told us. But that's why I need to clarify.
There was a couple times when I was writing and I'm like,
That's all right. That's why we read it, and we'll clarify some things.
okay.
My first question is, you wrote a few reasons why you rented the car for Cody, but did not write one of the reasons you told us. Is it true that you also rented the car for Cody so that he'd have a way to get to your apartment to kill Chuck and a way to get away?
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't
I thought I put it so that he would have a way to get to my apartment later.
Right. We're just making it more detail.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just clarifying it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to write it, and then I'll let you read it, and then you can sign it, okay?
Okay.
So be patient with me. I'm not as good a writer as you, so hopefully you can read my writing. Did you move the gun so Chuck would not shoot Cody when Cody came to kill him with the knife?
Yes.
Trying to keep them simple so I don't have to write a whole lot.
Oh, I thought I put it when the arrows
You
and all
put
that.
it, you moved the gun. We're just
Okay.
these things we're just clarifying.
All right. If it's true, it's true, it'll set you free.
I told you feel better, don't you? I mean, you're not happy with the outcome, but you still feel better, don't you?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
I'm tired of being on edge and wondering when you're going to come and lying to everybody. And trying to convince myself it didn't happen.
All right, I'm trying to keep these to yes or no questions. When you told me in the previous interview it wasn't supposed to be like this, it wasn't supposed to be this messy, did you mean that Cody was supposed to kill Chuck with one stab and it wasn't supposed to be that bloody?
Do you want me to sign it?
I will here in just a second. I'll go back there and make sure every page is signed.
All right.
Pandora, may I look at those papers right there?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like it's my
Okay.
letter to Chuck's family
Okay.
that I haven't done yet.
Okay.
It's going to be short.
That's okay. No,
I don't have much in me left right now.
that's all right. And maybe at some point later, if you want to write them more, you can write them more.
I will. I don't know who I'll send it to, but
Well, if you ever got it to us, we can give it to them. Or the prosecutors, I could give it to them, either one.
okay.
Yeah, you can set that if you want. All right. When you spoke to Cody earlier in the week, you originally said that you told Cody you would buy him a car and give money to his kids.
You wrote it down there. It's another one of those things where just,
That's what he was saying, do with money, so the answer would be yes.
Give money to his kids and take care of his kids. Is that true?
Yes.
All right. This one is, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You told us that you realized this was a bad idea and no longer wanted to go through with it after you heard Chuck screaming. This is also when you started to regret you and Cody's plan is true.
Yeah.
Are you sorry for what happened?
Absolutely. That's weird. You asked me that question and I had just got done writing. If I could go back and undo this, I would.
All right. Was Misty or anyone else involved in planning Chuck's death, or was it just you and Cody?
Just me and Cody. Misty absolutely did not.
Was Adrian involved?
No, sir.
Ryan told me he's going to stay until I'm done. He don't really see me. Do you have anything else to add? You know?
Just that this should never happen. Did Cody write a letter to Chuck's family?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Anything else? All right.
I know I need to sign on it, I believe.
I also want you to, Q's are the questions I ask, A's are the answer.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Very good. But I also want you, I just don't want you to initial them, I want you to read them, make sure that I didn't write anything else besides what you told me.
All right.
I know you trust me, but I still want you to read it, just a formality.
Is that all right?
Well, it's your letter, right?
I know, but
Yeah, no, the letter's a personal thing for you to them, and I think it's just fine.
Yeah, just read the questions and answers to make sure I didn't sneak in anything on you.
are you going to be seeing Cody?
Well, yeah, I'm sure at some point here soon we'll be seeing him.
You told me that I finally told the truth. And I love him and I'm sorry.
I will.
Yeah, because that's one thing, Pandora, that I have. Well, I'll let you finish there and I want to ask you something. That's one thing I had a just burning question about that. I mean, I know you guys, I know you guys planned this together and Cody ended up getting caught. I mean, you helped us catch him. And you were protecting Cody from the beginning because, I mean, you didn't want him caught initially, because this way you made up the story of 911.
Yeah, but then I wanted him out because he had the gun, and I was afraid that if you guys went after him, he would use the gun and somebody else would get hurt.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you did that. Well, I guess my question was, our question was, you kind of threw him under the bus after you protected him. I was unsure why you did that. I mean, you said, I didn't have anything to do with it. It's all Cody after you protected him. How come you did that?
Because after it happened and all the blood and I was having regrets, I was just, I don't know, I guess a part of me was angry that he actually showed up.
Oh,
I was telling him, guilty. You know.
I wondered, Ed.
Trying to protect yourself a little bit after that.
Yeah. I tell you what, the guilt ate me up. Ate me up.
I figured it would be, because, I mean, if you cared about Cody at all, you had to be worried that, man, I just threw him under the bus, and he's in jail, and I'm out here scot-free. Although you knew you weren't scot-free. You knew it was just a matter of time, right?
Before, yeah, something, yeah. And I think just recently, I accepted the fact that it wasn't going to be something minor, you know. I mean, I've always felt that eventually, I would get charged with something major. And it's taken me until recently that I've just kind of come to peace with that.
Well, I mean, what you and Cody did was major. That's why you're in major trouble.
I know.
Like I said a while ago, this is not a driving under suspension or something like that. It's serious.
I really didn't think he would show up that night. I didn't. I thought he would get so drunk and so messed up on drugs that he just wouldn't show up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he said, I'll be there sometime this weekend. So you didn't know when he's coming.
No. But I figure the longer it took for him to get there, the less chance of him coming was.
Mm-hmm. But by the time you first started to back out was when it was too late and happening. And then that was just too late, right?
Well, you first started having...
You know, when I first realized that it wasn't a good idea, or that I didn't want it to happen, was after the day that Chuck and I had together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you finally had a good day.
Yeah. It's a long time coming.
But those wheels were already set in motion, and you let him in, and what happened, happened. And like you said in your statement, I mean, it was too late at that point. By the time you realized you didn't want it to happen, it basically already happened.
And the point I realized Friday night that I didn't want it to happen, I didn't know how to stop it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Chuck was right there. It's not like I could just go on the phone and call Cody and say, don't.
She wanted to call Terry. Well, I was going to let her call Terry.
Sure.
Do you have anything else for her before she calls?
No, I think it's time that you want to call Terry while you're smoking a cigarette?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
You want to
This needs to go, I can go in my purse to give to Milty.
You had your purse right here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cody Henderson pleaded guilty to Charles Zan's murder and was sentenced to life in prison. Pandora Zan was convicted of orchestrating the murder. She was given a life sentence plus 25 years without the possibility of parole.